So we got a game on Sunday. Sunday, Truckosaurus. And I was thinking about this because that's what I do. I think about the Giants. I think about football games. What's going on, everyone? Mike Leardi says, good evening, fellow Colt members. Smash the like button on the way in. Big Blue Forever already did. We got the sports highlights coming in. Yo. So let's think about this for a minute. The last time we played Dallas Cowboys, we lost by 40, and Daniel Jones threw for 110 yards at home. So what I'm thinking is there's nowhere to go but up for the Tommy DeVito, the Cowboy Slayer. Think about that for a minute. Just think about that for a minute. We lost by 40. We threw for 101 yards. And we lost at home. So like I said, whatever Tommy DeVito does is going to be a bonus. He throws for let's say Tommy DeVito throws for 150. Oh, and 2 interceptions, Daniel Jones said. Let's say Tommy DeVito throws for 150, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. That's a highlight. So everyone's all upset. Everyone's all, we're 15.5-point dogs. It's called football for a reason. For a reason. Now we got to go back to, like I said, that fateful opening day where everyone knows.
Maybe you haven't been keeping up on current events, but we just got our asses kicked, pal.
We got our asses kicked. Hudson is right. It's not about embracing the tank. It's not about embracing the future, which could be Caleb Williams, which could be Drake May, which could be, I don't want JJ McCarthy. It could be Michael Penix Jr. It's not about embracing the tank. It's about embracing the moment. So the Tommy of the DeVito, not to be mixed up with Danny DeVito, about the same size. You have to look at this from a perspective of if your defense plays well, if your defense plays somewhat consistent. If we get a consistent pass rush on Dak, you never know what could happen. I'm not saying we're going to win this game, but I might take the 15.5. I see too many people just giving up. All these people that were so ingrained in Daniel Jones's jock have now disappeared. Disappeared on the Giants, disappeared on their Messiah. Why? Because you ran into a little bit of an obstacle. You ran into a little bit of a bump in the road.
In one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on.
We're going to move on. We're going to live on. We're going to go forward. I just can't believe the amount of flip-flopping. Oh, I can believe it. Why am I going to lie and say I can't believe it? I can believe it. I can wholeheartedly believe it. And then Wink is upset. I guess this is my opening monologue. Wink is upset. Wink is hurt. Never thought I would hear that about Wink. He was hurt by a player. He was hurt by a captain because he spoke his mind. I thought a captain was supposed to speak their mind. I thought a captain was supposed to be boisterous. I thought a captain was supposed to be the one that led the ship, even when it's going down. I didn't think anything that Xavier said was bad. He just said some people around here aren't listening. I know you would rather probably not get that information out there, but that's all he said. It wasn't this slight against the Wink. And I'm a little upset about that. That it's not this. You would make it. You would think that it was this crushing crescendo that they had against the Wink. No, it was nothing bad. It was not horrid. What is going on in Giant Land? Can somebody tell me? Can the chat tell me? Let's take a look at some of the chat. We're going to have a special guest here in a minute. OGR Sports is in his house saying, what's up, everyone? Tommy touchdown equals Daniel Jones, which is high issue from the Giants. Listen, if Tommy touchdown throws for 150 yards, he already exceeded the limits of what Daniel Jones did week 1. So there's nowhere to go but up. We got a big old super chat from the big old Don. Finally catching the live stream, Tim. Driving home now. Well, you drive carefully, my friend, because we need you. We need your sanity. We need your thought process. I got my special guest coming in. He's looking dapper. He's looking giant-esque. He's trying to get his camera fixed. Everyone that knows this person already knows that he's been in the news with WFAN. Everyone knows that he has been the epicenter of the culture shock. And of course, it is always the one, the only, Carl Banks. What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
What's going on? Oh, it's not Carl Banks. It's James Williams.
Oh, it's just me. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
James, you missed it. And I gotta get to these chats too, but you missed the opening here. I was talking about how in the first week of the season, we lost by 40 to Dallas. Daniel Jones throws for 101 yards, 2 interceptions, gets basically got him 6 sacks, whatever the hell it was. So my thought process is this: anything that Tommy DeVito does next week or this Sunday, if he throws for 150, a touchdown and 2 interceptions, it's already a step up of what happened in week 1. So there's no downside to starting Tommy DeVito.
I mean, there's honestly not. You know, I mean, Daniel Jones was
less than 100 yards. You don't think Tommy DeVito already threw for what 150 last week?
And Jones was winless against Dak anyway. So
right.
It's like either way, like you said, we're either going closer to Caleb or we're gonna beat the Cowboys for the first time in 5 years.
Listen, if we beat the Cowboys, I'm gonna fucking cry.
That would just be a giant thing to do.
I will cry because we're going out like we're gonna win 21-20, and it's gonna be like a safety at the end of the game for Dak. He's gonna step out of the step out of the back of the end zone for some unknown reason, and we're gonna end up getting we're gonna end up picking 20th, and I'll have to have year 7 of Daniel Jones.
Listen, man, Micah Parsons might take the boys out to Poppycockers the night before because they're like, oh, who's coming? Oh, we got the Giants tomorrow. We got them.
I love we got to mass this up. There we go. Super chat. I just had a random Joe Judge memory. Remember when he blamed the headset for not being able to call the plays? Bose had to issue a statement that it was not true. I actually do remember that. That's actually a very good memory and actually a very good super chat because I do remember that.
We've had some lows the last 8 years. We've had some lows.
You want to know why? Because I've been searching. No. I'll talk about baby. Don't forget my number. Greatest group that never was. It's Carl Banks again. Yes, everyone knows that Carl Banks just loves to stop by.
Carl Banks, what up, Mike Lee?
I love it though because I have a friend who I have a friend, believe it or not, but I have another friend who happens to be black, and I know, shocking. I know and he was funny because he texted me the other day because he watched the stream and watched the replay, and he goes when the white guy with the bald head showed up as Carl Banks, he's like, I nearly drove off the road. He said the guy before that was a brother.
Yeah, that's a good joke you keep running, and it's still funny. You know, it's really funny. The dude from WFAN, BT, the white dude with the bald head, he actually got an extension, a contract extension.
Oh, so really?
They got rid of Carl and they extended him.
They gave him more money. So we all let's get a couple of these chats because then I want to talk about some because I see some. I love this one. It's bold of you to assume Danny DeVito will even throw for more than 100 yards. It's not bold. He already threw for 150. He threw for 150 and a touchdown against the Raiders, who actually have a pretty good pass rush.
Yeah, he was running from Crosby.
Well, I love Mike Lee saying, "Embrace the nightmare scenario." I embrace it. Oh, just so everyone knows, the salute to service gear is out, so they actually have some really nice. And I got the. I get some nice. They got some nice hats, and I got the brown sweater and all that stuff. So the salute to service stuff is.
No, that stuff that they do is always nice with the.
They always do a great thing. Zack Attack says Tim is always right? Despite a certain content creator not doing so well with any dump offs. We're going to talk about some content creators too, and I know, and I'm going to talk about it. James is not going to talk about it. James is a scholar and a gentleman. I'm evidently an egotistical asshole that just likes self-talk. So I'm not gonna blame James for this. This fiasco, this mess. Max Custom Kick says, glad they've gone because they're really Giant fans. I flip-flop. I can admit it, but what convinced me was the playoff game. But man, I'm a man enough to admit I was wrong.
That's all it is. You know, we've all been wrong at some point in time. It's just these people are just dying on these hills out here. It's just
speak for yourself.
It's amazing.
Hold on 1 second. Oh, let's see here. Someone made a whole video about me being wrong.
Look at your face. That looks like a bad 80s rap video.
Put me in one of his videos out, and this is what's even funny. I'm gonna call some people out. He did it without even my consent. Does not even come over and say, "Hey, listen, let's get a rebuttal from you." Everyone knows this is mine or Pat, and he did this whole video about how I was wrong about everything. How everything I said was just minutia and I didn't know anything.
Yeah, that was, I mean, the chickens are coming home to roost now, though.
You know what they say? I got the receipts and the deleted tweets. And every so often, you're going to get an award. So, Bill, I should say this, Little Pat, here's your award.
Fuck you!
All right. Man up, Buttercup. No, you won't.
No, we don't do that anymore.
We don't do that in Giant Nation. In reference,
we don't man up.
We don't man up. I admit when I'm wrong. I tell people that I'm not right. Because I'm never not right. Just ask Zach. That's why I keep Zach around.
Zach keeps you on the level.
No, Zach just admits he just agrees with everything I say, so it's awesome. That's great. I love it. I always wanted to have a yes person. Without Zach, half the shit we wouldn't even know about. I wouldn't even know about.
The crazy thing with Zach is like he's fast. Like
he emails me everything, so that's the only reason I keep abreast of news. What's up, Mr. McCormick? Everything's going. Then Mr. Albert said, "Someone tell Bose to cut the mics every week. We're playing for the first overall pick." I agree. Zach is the official producer. We'll find Giant content creators receipts, but that's just a sneak preview. Zach is on another project. Zach was the one that went out and got me all the sound bites from Bad Dog that we played last weekend or 2 weekends ago. So Zach is on another project. He's on another.
You got him digging.
I got him digging for the receipts and the deleted tweets. Daiko says even a walk home won't stop me from catching some of this stream. Well, Daiko, that's
well, hopefully it makes your walk home faster.
Thank you.
Hopefully we keep you entertained, get home, get inside. It's a little chilly outside.
That's why I love it. Karen says no little bumps. Can we go forward with the way the coaches have not been able to get this team together? It's been going down since 40-0, the worst record from New York in history. Enough excuses. I want to ask you a question, James.
Yeah.
Oh God, he's like, yeah. Our offense has been anemic at best.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had a half of an explosion against a St. Louis team who's buying for the first overall pick, who stopped blitzing in the second half and went into a Tampa 2, which allowed us to come back. We've had some bad performances, some bad showings. We have some offensive talents. Why the hell is there no talk about firing Mike Kafka? Because Shane can call the plays.
That's actually a good question. That's actually a really good question. The only thing I'll say up front is because of this season has been such a crapshoot that I don't think they want to add anything else to the headlines in the paper. I'm pretty sure behind the scenes there has to be some intense conversations going on, because if you look at the play calling, like you say all the time, like I think we missed Jason Garrett, and I think you can honestly say that with some of the play calling that we've seen. I mean, What was that double end around reverse on the 2-point conversion we tried?
I was just about to say on the 2-point conversion.
My God.
If you watched Dable on the sidelines, he's literally kicking the air, throwing his arms up like, what the hell, man? What the hell are we doing? And this is
that's all I can say for Kafka in his slight defense is
there's a slight
you're not throwing plays to Pat Mahomes.
This is the dynamic duo.
Yeah, but as you can see, he's Robin. So, you know,
Robin died. I know that, and he becomes becomes dark.
He comes back as Wink Martindale.
He comes back as Wink. Oh, we're gonna talk about. I gotta ask you about Wink. I'm all over the place, but I gotta ask you about Wink Martindale too. Did you ever think Wink Martindale would tell you that a player hurt my feelings? Because
go ahead.
Came out with Xavier McKinney, and he didn't like what Xavier McKinney said. And he said all of his years of coaching, this really hurt him. This really cut him to the quick. What the fuck is going on in this world? Wink, who's supposed to be a man's man, was hurt because a captain said some people aren't listening. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Xavier McKinney's probably got a pretty good pulse in the locker room.
Probably. He's been pretty vocal every now and then during the season, not little tidbits. But Timothy, in all fairness, we're in the era of sensitivity. We're in the era of sensitivity, and feelings matter over facts.
We're going to be having some sensitivity training.
We're in the era of sensitivity, and it's filtered onto the football field.
Don't forget to hit the like when you come into the chat.
Hit that like button when you walk in the club, please.
Oh, you got to do something. Let's go through some of these. I got a couple of questions for you. Mr. Alvarez says, anyone who took one playoff game as was the only game he played in the playoffs, how quick they forget about the Eagle game. Look at how the quarterback played against good teams, not against the bad ones. Mike W says we should quarterback sneak every play for 8 games to get Caleb. We should just call Judge up and go victory formation. Your side.
We should. Oh, sorry about that.
You're sideways. Something was very wrong there for a minute. Mr. Robert says, where are the guys who said they would give James the money? Oh, yeah. Where are this guy who said he would give James the money if Jones scored under 20 touchdowns? He's been real quiet ever since that. There was a guy on this team.
Oh, please.
That was, yes, Mr. Alvarez. Wow. You talk about bringing something back. That said, I don't know what the bet was. But he said to you that Jones would be well over 20 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, that was literally probably over a year ago, like almost now.
This was just after the draft.
After the draft.
Yeah, this was right after this was right after he signed the contract. You're thinking of the guy that bet you $1,000 like a year ago.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah,
that all of a sudden just disappeared when he lost.
That's the thing about the internet, man. And I'm gonna make a couple points later. Tim gives me the mic for 5 minutes on this, but just real quick, it's just that's the thing about social media and YouTube and IG that people can just say anything. Like back in the day when you were at the park, or we had wherever we met up at after school, whatever, like I knew you had to show up there sooner or later. You were gonna have to show up. You can't hide in the house forever.
No.
Nowadays you can hide in the house forever and just hide on the keyboard. But back in the days, yeah, you make a bet, you say some outlandish crap. It's like, oh, I wonder where that guy is. You got to come out to the court sooner or later. But Alvarez, man, I forgot all about that, brother.
I forgot about that. He's right. Someone also bet me $1,000 at the beginning of the season that we were going to win. That we're going to win 10 games to go to the playoffs. I don't think I'm seeing that money.
Please, that money, please. You're not even see that guy again. The money.
To protect number one says to protect one, and actually protects one is going to be on the show this one of these days soon. We're working on that. The Giants coverage flipped quickly as soon as he went down with that ACL. It was absolutely humiliating. I tried to warn most of them. Do you?
And
Want,
no, I got a question for you.
wait, go ahead. For me?
Yeah. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead. I like questions.
Where does this
9.5 inches.
That's what she said. Where does this endless sympathy for this guy Jones come from? Like, where is this? It's just this overwarming of, I feel so bad for the guy, and oh man, he was never given a chance, and oh man, the poor little guy went out there, gave it his all, and he hurt his knee, he tore his ACL, and it's like all this just, it's like you would think the guy was like homegrown from under the depths of MetLife, and it's like he's our Frankenstein, and we have to support him. It's like I don't understand. The guy's getting paid over $100 million.
People got mad because I was calling people out saying he tore his ACL, his leg didn't fall off. Because they're like, he's going to be back. He'll be back in the league. Yeah, he tore his ACL. His leg was not amputated. I mean, and then I love it because you got one of the beat writers who was upset with the fact that they asked Daniel Jones 3 days later about the chatter that he's hearing in reference to being replaced. And I love it because they wrote on Twitter, well, it's only been 72 hours. Because saying it's only been 72 hours makes it sound a hell of a lot shorter than saying it's been 3 fucking days. Okay.
I don't. Tiki Barber on the radio today said, "Oh well, Daniel Jones he probably won't be the future for the Giants, but he'll probably play another 8 years in this league somewhere else. Another 8 years, Tiki? First of all, Tiki Barber should never even be allowed to talk about quarterbacks again.
No, ever again.
You put your foot in your mouth years ago. Just you should never talk about, especially New York Giant quarterbacks. Just kind of thing. But 8 years, man, he can't even play 5 years healthy. What are you talking about?
The problem is with Tiki, he was so valuable to the Giants, they won the year after he retired.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? He motivated the team.
It's motivating.
He was a great motivator.
It's motivating. I gotta get through some of these because I gotta ask you a question. Guilty says, love the shirt. Tim is back. Go get him. Ron Juan says, please tell the Giant fans that no team who needs a generational franchise quarterback will pass to take an offensive lineman to protect the mediocre quarterback they currently have on the roster. Nick says, yo, Tim, stuck in traffic. Glad you went live. Well, you know what? That's what I'm here for. Make sure you drive carefully, Nick. Danny Dunn says, DJ still stinks. It's been a miserable 5 years since we overdrafted him. And I don't blame Daniel Jones for getting drafted at 6 overall, James. I don't blame him.
No.
I blame him about everyone else. I blame him for everything else, but I don't blame him for that.
No, I mean, he can't. Nobody can help where they get picked or where they go except for Eli Manning.
Fabian says, no talk of Kafka being fired means nothing is changing. Sad but true. Zach wants me to ask you about the Leonard Williams veto power, but we're going to get to that in a minute. Greg wants Caleb. I think we all want. Mike Lee said, Tim, you forgot they are the kinder, gentler Giants.
We're the sensitive Giants.
We are the sensitive Giants.
We don't come stomping. We come very softly.
We don't come stomping because we don't want to offend anyone.
No, we don't want to offend anybody.
How confident should we be without Gano? Well, Gano was going to be our best offensive weapon, so I'm not going to say I don't think we're going to be too confident at all.
I mean, he was a little off this year anyway because of his injuries.
Listen, Karen says the facts are in the front of us. It's bad. The organizations let them down. The team took the hits, literally dropping like flies. What a mess. DJ, take your money. He did take his money. He took his money and ran.
Right to the stock market.
Actually, no, DJ did, bad joke time. DJ didn't take his money and ran. He did one of these.
Well, either way, he got away.
He limped away.
Either way.
Oh, James, I got something for you.
Oh,
I got James a present. And actually, someone sent it to me, and I forgot. And this is going to be something. This I've never seen this before. So maybe you know what it is, but I've never seen this before.
Oh, now I'm scared. Oh, what is that? Ohio State trading cards?
It's Ohio State trading cards.
Oh, what is that right there?
I have never seen these before. Someone sent me these to give to you, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh wow, whoever that was, thank you. Wow, that's dope. I don't think I've never seen that before. How about that?
I don't know what year they are. They could be like 10, 15 years old. So I don't know. You might get, I don't know who the hell you're going to get, but you might get somebody. Nick, if you want to come on, just email me at tim@onlineBigBlue.com, tim@onlineBigBlue.com. We'll set it up for you. You called me. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
You called me.
Yeah.
And you texted me yesterday. And then you called me because evidently I didn't respond fast enough to the text message. There was a video.
Yes.
There was a video that was done by a man. We think he's a man. I'm not saying he's a man. I'm not. He could be he, she, them, it, alien. I don't know. And it irked you, and you asked me to watch it, and you were going to send me a snippet, but you didn't because I refused to watch it. Do you want to explain?
You weren't gonna watch it. Yeah,
I didn't watch it. Like I said, I tell you like it is. You tell me to watch something, I always tell people I'm gonna tell you right now. If it's more than 30 seconds, more than 90% of the time, I'm not gonna watch it. But do you want? I thought this was a great conversation we had.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to explain what happened? And it's a giant content creator.
Shocking, right?
Shocking.
Unbelievable. I'll take this. I'll take the wheel. Just give me a couple minutes. Yeah, I got it.
Make sure Nick stays on the road.
Nick, stay on the road. Everybody who's heading home, drive safely. Watch out for the idiots. But those of you that are walking too. But there's a giant content creator by the name of Fisk Vegas. And again, anything I'm about to say, this is all factual. This is not for slander purposes or to just be hating. But he put out a video on his own accord, under his own channel. And the title of that video is Daniel Jones, Giants drafting Caleb in mock draft. Just a couple of days ago, right? And if you listen to the first just 3 minutes of the video, because it's like 12 minutes long, but just in the first 3 minutes, I heard some of the most blasphemous, just in the first 3 minutes of his video, Fisk basically admits that since he's been making giant videos, which evidently only started 4 years ago, this is his first time covering the Giants when we're actually picking a quarterback. I want you guys to think about what I just said. I know it's like a little silly me even mentioning this, but it really bothered me to my soul as a man and as a football purist. We have a giant content creator out there who's been making videos going on for 5 years, talking about quarterbacks and the team and how Daniel Jones is this and that, and it's not his fault and all this. And on his own video yesterday or 2 days ago, he came out and admitted in the first 3 minutes that he's never covered the Giants when we were picking a quarterback. That means even when we picked Daniel Jones 4 years ago, 5 years ago, he wasn't covering the Giants. Hell, I don't even know if he was paying attention to the Giants. I don't even know if he's a real Giants fan, because he admitted also that the videos he was making was about other teams.
Now, to be fair, he also might not be able to spell attention.
Whatever. This is like I love my brother, but this is like serious to me because this guy makes videos for 4 years. He also admitted that he's 34 years old.
Oh, he did?
Which is fine.
We didn't. Right? I didn't know he admitted his age.
Right. So because I actually went and listened to a couple more minutes of the video because I like to be thorough before I just come out and say some stuff. So in the video, he admitted that he's 34 years old, right? So just to put that into context, anybody out there, I'm 41 years young, right? If you're, just to put this in the context, because there's people out there who really go to some of these content creators for information and they really hang on every word they say. They even send money, super chats. It's like church, corrupt church. If you're 35 years old, right?
34.
That means in your lifetime, the last 5 years, you've seen Daniel Jones. Then for the 15 years prior to that, you saw Eli Manning. Then for 4 years before that, you saw Kerry Collins. And if I go back any farther, you're basically like 8, 7 years old running around. So your quarterback history is not that. You probably don't remember the Danny Cannell, Kent Graham, Dave Brown years that well. You probably don't. So one could honestly say, hey, there are some of these giant content creators and fans out here who are ignorant. Not stupid, ignorant. You want to know what ignorant means? Let me just spiel that out real quick. And then I'm going to shut up soon because I don't want to be sound like I'm teaching a lesson here, but I kind of am. Ignorant is lacking in knowledge or training, lacking in knowledge or information as to a particular subject or fact, uninformed. Stupid is lacking ordinary quickness and keenness of mind, tediously boring, especially due to lack of meaning, also annoying or irritating. So when Tim, over the years, because this content creator, the reason why I bring this up is because this content creator, among others, has thrown shots at my boy here, Tim, my brother, which I don't appreciate.
Well, him, Cop, and Ron Effect.
There's been a few. There's been a few. And if you call somebody out because they said something wrong or they've been harping on something that they were wrong about, I can understand that. But to call somebody out when you yourself are ignorant.
Well, we have a rebuttal with the super chat for big OGR Sports. James Fisk has been making videos longer than that. I can test to it because some of the first videos made were on my channel. What about the rebuttaling Fisk Vegas? At one point, he was rooting for the nation.
Okay, well, again, so thank you, big OGR. Salute, brother.
That's why it's OG Carl Banks Sports.
OGR is a Swiftie. Nah, I'm just playing. But so, all right, so OGR, I didn't know that, right? So in his video, he says, oh, I only started making Giants videos 4 years ago. I guess the other videos he's talking about prior is the Who Dat. I guess he was a Saints fan because he says he's from the South. Oh, also, another thing he says in his video
is that he's from DC.
I'm just talking about, listen, again, I'm only bringing this up because we're living in this era where even where people show you who they are, some people will still follow them, even when they're dead wrong. And I just don't understand.
And Daryl says, wait, where are you going with this, James? I'm 34. And now, being 28 myself, I'm not really sure where you're going with this.
The point is, where I'm going,
28 years old.
The point where I'm going with this, brother Smith, is that, and I'm not talking about you because you may be well informed, but if you're 35 years old and you've already admitted that I've never watched the Giants go through actually picking a quarterback, that means you weren't paying attention to the Giants during the whole Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers trade, which would, okay. And that also means that just recently you weren't paying attention because he says in his video, oh, I didn't think we were going to pick a quarterback when we picked Daniel Jones. Well, that's just asinine, because if you could tell by the way Eli Manning was going and the way we were and how bad the season was, we were clearly going to take a quarterback. Now, I'm pretty sure most of us thought it would probably be Dwayne Haskins or something. Nobody was thinking Daniel Jones, but we were definitely going to pick a quarterback. So all I'm saying is that you have people out here who are speaking from platforms and they're seriously lacking knowledge. They're ignorant, not even stupid, just straight ignorant. Because if you've never watched a team go through the process of picking a quarterback, then why would you jump on the bandwagon of a quarterback that nobody's ever heard of, did not go to a big school, did not play in any big games, was not hyped coming out of high school, and then make videos for 4 years where you're actually taking super chats and money, and you basically don't know anything about the guy.
You told me he said that he lives in the South, so he saw Daniel Jones play at Duke.
Oh, allegedly, yes. Allegedly, he's from North Carolina area. Allegedly. This is what he said in his own video. And he's seen Daniel Jones play. And when we picked him, his reaction was, oh, okay, the kid from Duke, okay. But then you proceeded for 4 years to just make videos and talk about other content creators when they question if the kid can actually play? It just doesn't make sense. And Fisk is not the only one out there like this. He's just the only one that exposed himself. I don't know if he meant to do that. I'm sure he didn't. but I've never heard anything like that in my life. You've been making videos for, at least that I know, 5 years, maybe longer, about football, and particularly the Giants in the last 4.5 years. But then you admit that you've never really seen the process of picking a quarterback.
What really, I think, and I didn't watch the video. I don't have time to do that because
I know.
it takes a long time to do this hair. My big thing was he just did videos like not even a month ago, that Daniel Jones is the franchise. Daniel Jones is going to turn all this around. Daniel Jones is this, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now, we've talked about it before, the pendulum is just rocketed the other way. And now he's off the Daniel Jones bandwagon. He's off the Daniel Jones train, like so many other content creators are.
So many.
It's no longer chic to be, in the Daniel Jones camp. And I think that's what bugged me. That I think the one thing that we could say about being here, and especially a lot of people in the chat, we don't really change our mind unless it is changed vis-a-vis facts.
Well, in the world of common sense and logic, that's the way it's supposed to go. You're supposed to stick to your guns, stick to your opinion, stick to the decision you made, and ride it out until the wheels fall off.
And have the wheels fall off? Is this the end of Daniel Jones?
No, it's the end. It's over. It's over. And again, sometimes in life will make a decision for you even when you keep making the wrong one. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the kid keeps getting hurt. He's not playing good. And even after let me ask you, you've been watching football longer than me. Have you ever seen a guy get a new contract, quarterback, get a new contract to where he's at the time, a top 10 paid quarterback in the league based off the money at the time when he signed it. And then 8 games into that thereafter season, it's like the team is already talking, well, we got to draft a quarterback.
Well, before we do that, we have to get into the firing squad. I have never seen a quarterback. I will say this right off the bat. I have never seen a quarterback get the amount of love and praise Daniel Jones got for doing nothing. And I've never seen a quarterback get paid the amount of money he did get paid for doing nothing. And I'm not saying he did nothing in regards to, I should rephrase that. He did
bare minimum.
He did bare. It's like, you know what? There's the old joke that what do you call the guy or the girl who graduates last to medical school? Doctor. That's still what you call him. You call him doctor. True. Daniel Jones won a playoff game. Daniel Jones had mediocre stats at best, but he's still an NFL quarterback.
He is. But
is he a good NFL quarterback? No. Victor Cruz today, I don't know where it was. Zach Attack sent it to me. He says that it's time for the Giants to move on. Victor starts to Cruz. Victor Cruz is, anyone that goes to Giant games knows there is some staples in reference to players at the stadium. Howard Cross, because he works there. Victor Cruz is always there. Victor Cruz is literally always on the field on game day. And I mean, you got Cross, you got Banks, and to me, Cruz are the quintessential homers. And for him to come out and say, I think it was on national television, Zach, I don't remember where it was. Someone told me I should pay Zach. Like we make any money here. But yeah, I mean, for him to come out and say, "Hey, listen, this just isn't working," that should tell you something.
That's crazy if he really said that. I didn't hear that.
No, he did.
He came out and said that's he's the only Giant. Maybe I heard Chris Canty say a little something, but that would have been the first Giant just to come out and say, "No, it's time to move on."
Why are you gonna doubt my veracity?
No, I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying. All we've had is the coddlers. Howard Cross, Tiki Barber, Carl Banks, You know, Lawrence Tynes. You know, all we've had is the Codlers.
All right,
The
wait a
only
minute.
guy
Okay, James, here you go. I have the comment. Here you go. You're right. This is only 39 seconds. We're gonna play this. So everyone that does not know, this is Victor Cruz.
I think the Giants have to make a decision whether they want to be in complete rebuild mode and then go get a quarterback and rebuild the entire thing, or you still want to go out and be competitive and make a trade or make a splash or do whatever it is you want to do. But I think they have to make that decision. In my opinion, I think we got to go get a new quarterback. I think we got to go and do the entire rebuild, refranchise. It's just something isn't sitting right with this team. I think Dabo stays. I don't think Dabo gets another year
for sure.
I think those guys rally around him. I think they love him. I think it's just the makeup of the roster of this football team, at least offensively. I think defensively, I think we're doing exactly. I mean, Coach Wink has those guys playing at a phenomenal level.
And this is what I think of.
Do you see the light? What light? Have you seen the light? Yes! Yes! Jesus! Christ! I have seen the light!
When Victor Cruz sees the light, when the bulb goes off over Victor Cruz's head, you know something's screwy.
that sounded like he was on the Craig Carton show. I want to know who that person was that said yes in the background, because somebody co-signed that quick.
I thought
somebody co-signed that quick.
OGR says we got to get the super chat in. Times like this, I would love to come on, loving the conversation. Well, OGR, if you want to come on, let me know. Just give me a few more minutes with the James, and if you want to come on, you're more than welcome. There was a thing, and I want to get to this because there was a great question, and it kind of went along to what Victor Cruz was just talking about, and where right here, Mr. The Hard Way. What do you think about the 49ers and Rams strategy of training picks for proven players strictly building through instead of strictly building through the draft? Well, here's the thing. The 49ers and the Rams are already a team in contention. So their retooling is the fact that they're just adding more pieces to help them get through and win this season. So I think there's a little bit different. They actually built through the draft. Brock Purdy was through the draft. Bosa's through the draft. You know, what's his name? It's Samuels is through the draft. I mean, so they built through the draft, but they're augmenting their roster by using their caps, not their caps, their draft capital. And I think there's a little bit of difference between what they have done and what the Giants are doing, James.
Right. Versus, and the Rams, I think they did make a couple big name trades to add the final pieces. You know, Odell, Ramsey, Stafford, you know, onto their team versus, like you said, the 49ers actually did build through the draft. Also, with the 49ers, let's not forget, they would have had a Super Bowl win in the last few years if porn star Jimmy hits my man in the end zone. I forgot the receiver's name in the Super Bowl, but he had him open, the small guy. I don't think was it the slot guy. I got to think of his name. Zach, get on that.
Zach, Google that, Zach.
Jimmy and the 49ers would have had a Super Bowl championship. You might not even have seen Brock Purdy.
Zach Tech says this was on the Carton show. I guess
he's got a morning show. Yeah, Craig Carton. He's got a little morning.
He's saying it's on the Craig Carton show. So that's where that sound clip came from. Todd wants to know if it's going to be Eddie George in that pack that we have for you.
That would be sweet.
The Vegas guy is a freaking bum. Greg says, I saw the same thing. Fabian wanted to know your point. We talked about that. We got to the OG knockout. Let's see. Oh, Logic's finals all the way from Germany. Tim, what's best to you and your family? What's going on, Logic's? How's everything going? Can Greg,
Logic, what up, brother? Cheers.
Greg, come on for 5 minutes. Greg Cartman? Greg, you want to come all the way in from Switzerland? No, hold on. I am very well adverse to this internet stuff.
Bring some wine and cheese.
Watch this. Boom. There's a link.
Yo, didn't you have a question from Zach about Leonard Williams or something?
I don't know. I already lost my train of thought.
I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. Yes, Leonard Williams. Stop trying to keep me on. Stop trying to. Dude, man, don't be trying.
We actually had a production. We had a production meeting over a keg.
I love it. James called me yesterday, and I love this because I told him I'm feeling like I'm so official now. So we were talking about the stream on Sunday, and I said, well, hell, let's just do a stream on Thursday. And then someone who just, and I can't remember who the gentleman is, but he just, and I feel bad because I just thought about it. He just came back from overseas. So salute and welcome. And he asked me if I would do a live stream today. So I'm a sucker. So I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? I'll do a live stream for you. So salute to you and all your service. I don't remember who.
Thank you for your service, brother.
Thank you for your service. And so
shout out to all the vets out there. All the vets.
Very good, because Veterans Day is tomorrow. So James calls me and we're talking about the show and we're talking about what we're going to talk about and this and that. And I stopped him in the middle of it and I said, this sounds like we're having a production meeting. And I said, I feel official because I'm having a production meeting. I got Zach working on stuff. Oh my God. I guys, no joke this time.
You got Lawrence Tynes.
No joke. And I'm not, look, no joke this time. I did reach out to Carl Banks.
Oh, you got Banks Carl, his twin.
I did reach out to Carl Banks. No, I'm not lying. Vis-a-vis Twitter. I did reach out to Carl Banks and I asked him if he had a moment to just stop it. And I did send him the link. No, I'm being dead serious. Look at this face. I'm being dead serious.
Oh, I see the face.
The New York Giants great, Carl Banks. Carl, you look whiter than I remember.
Carl, you must have got the Michael Jackson treatment.
And I also I put on a few pounds too as well. Yeah.
Well, you're retired. It's okay.
You're retired, Mr. Banks. I have so many questions to ask you. When you met me in 1987 in the lobby in Pasadena in January, did you know I was going to be this awesome?
I was half in the bag. I don't remember you at all.
What's up, Mr. OGR? You wanted to stop in and say something.
I mean, James, that man didn't. Anybody who takes Fisk with any grain of salt needs to stop. That man is a professional troll. That's all. I mean, that's. I don't want to come on and just say that.
Question though.
Yeah.
Dom is a professional hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
So isn't that kind of racist? Because we shouldn't really be.
Hobbits are different than trolls.
Trolls and hobbits.
Hobbits are different than trolls.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I prefer hobbits over trolls.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Talk your talk.
But anyways, I mean, if you go back to my channel, which is I don't even remember when I started, I got on just to rebuttal some of these ridiculous points he was making. Like he was trashing Eli Manning in his entirety of his career. So he was there when obviously Daniel Jones was drafted. I mean, he at one point he was so frustrated with the Giants, even though they're worse now, arguably, than they were when Eli Manning was struggling.
Yeah,
he was starting that like ridiculous. But
there's a ping I just got from my other associate producer. She says you might want to move your camera, OGR. Your kid's in the background. Your kid pictures in the background.
No, okay. No,
the other way. There you go. Is that a Franciscan mug? That looks like a Franciscan Desert Rose mug in the same cabinet.
It might be, and actually, it's not in the cabinet. It's actually stuck in the windows.
Oh, okay. But go ahead. Thank you, Mrs. Online Big Blue is also the associate producer here of the Online Big Blue Traffic Wreck.
Yes. So tell her I said thank you.
You're very welcome.
Watching. Other than that, no, that's the facts about Fisk. I mean, most people I got on to rebuttal, even somebody is like Ron Effect, because I love being a Giants fan, and it's okay to ridicule a team. I don't believe in blind passion. That's the other side of the fan base. Blind passion and not admitting when things are going awry or not addressing issues that you see, where you see Daniel Jones red striping down the field. That's an issue that's got to be cleaned up. And if you're not going to clean that up in 3 years, because you know what? I gave Daniel Jones a thing. I mean, you probably go back and look at some of my content. I was probably, rah Daniel Jones. But at the end of the day, it pan out.
I just don't understand because I remember when I found Tim, my boy actually put me on to Bad Dog and Chris and a couple other people, because I just, we got tired of ESPN and all that. And I remember when I found Tim and I was like, oh crap, this white guy's making sense. And he's quoting rap lyrics. And it's kind of weird, but I'm loving it. And
You wanna know why? Because
you know,
it ain't my type of hype.
and just listening to him, and then I found a couple other good people. Like I said, Bad Dog. Then I found a couple others, but there's just a select few out here who they do this thing where, and I get it, it's like the politician thing or the crooked reverend pastor thing, but it's so absurd to me because we all are watching the games. We're all Giants fans. We're all watching the same thing. And I know that, the old, I know we all know the thing of you could show 100 people a painting and get 100 different views on the painting. But if we're all watching a guy running down the field on Monday night, Sunday night football, and he trips over his own feet, and I'm like, gee, I don't know. This guy might not have it for prime time. And then that same guy goes 1-12 in primetime games over the next 4 years. And then why do you have these people out here who are just like, well, he just was never given a shot. And the Giants ruined him. We ruined him. And I just don't understand it. I guess because I'm in my 40s, and when I see just stupidity and just ignorance, something in me is triggered. Like I was triggered yesterday. Listen to this. And I was like, wait a minute. You don't know anything about watching a team pick a quarterback? Wait a minute. You say you're in North Carolina and you've watched Daniel Jones games and you still got on this panty raid Daniel Jones bus for the last 4 years where people are sending you money? I thought we wanted to get away from the ESPN Fox Sports crap. Some of the crap I've had to hear, and now I got to hear all this. Like even talking Giants, the guy's like, oh, well, man, the poor guy, he's not poor. He's rich as hell. Look at it. It's like,
for those that do not know, for those that do not know, Giant history here. There are 3 people on the screen, guys. We'll say I'm A, James will be B, OGR will be C.
Oh, I'm.
One person made a rebuttal video about me. I'm not sure who it was.
Don't blame the black guy. We've had enough of that.
I just had to bring that up. There was one person in this chat that rebutted me, and I can't find it. I was on your page right now looking for it when James was ranting.
I'm not gonna find it. My page is so convoluted. I never ripped it down either. I've never ripped down a single video that I've ever put up. Actually, no, that's a lie. I've ripped down one. But that's
evidently was my rebuttal video. Jay, Zach, go on OGR Sports page and find the rebuttal video.
Zach, find that video.
Because this is like I said, this is come to Jesus Day. So here we go. I want to call out everybody that made fun of poor little me. Poor little buddy.
No, but my rebuttal, I don't believe I was completely wrong in my rebuttal, Tim. That's the problem.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, I think you were.
I don't know. I knew that was. You should have known that was coming. OGR, damn it.
Hey, listen, you're gonna run 100 miles an hour with a blindfold on. Sometimes you can hit the fence.
Damn it, OGR.
But that being said, I mean it's a dictatorship. You expect it. So I'm by now. I went to the gulag. I'm back now.
No, you went back again.
This guy runs his state like Dr. Doom.
Fabian says he's from South Carolina. No, OGR's not from South Carolina.
No.
But go ahead.
Oh, you talking about fifth?
I'm not going to ban you anymore.
It's all right, even if you do. I'm used to it by now.
Sometimes I don't think Dom is. Logic's Mind says, I'm a Giant fan since 1979. Greg says, all those quarterbacks were trash. Zacatag says, I told Bad Dog Corey Littleton would have been the Alex Ogletree 2.0. I was right. I actually liked Corey Littleton for the Giants. I thought he was going to be a good coverage linebacker. He could be a good coverage linebacker, something we were lacking. But boy, he didn't pan out whatsoever. Juan says, "What's up, my brother? Everything's good. Let me see here. I want to make sure I get to a lot of these. Closet Rosen being drafted and gone the next year. Let's see here. How many touchdowns has Jones thrown in 2023? They are all production numbers to justify why fans are so in love with a mediocre quarterback at best. Help me understand."
I can help you understand. People latch on to a quarterback, any quarterback, because if that quarterback doesn't pan out, what does that mean?
We got to pick another one.
Yeah, which also means rebuild.
Right.
That's why people latched on to Daniel Jones, because if he didn't work out, that means a rebuild. And the longer you stay with him, the longer it's going to take to rebuild. That's why
I have a question about that. I have a question about that for both of you. Daniel Jones was taken during Eli Manning's last season. Would it have been better for Daniel Jones if Eli had retired and he didn't have the shadow of Eli Manning over, kind of hovering over him that first year, that second year, that third year, everything else? Because now I go on Twitter, all I see is people posting pictures of Eli Manning.
Well, I'll go first, OGR. Well, the odd thing is Eli Manning is seen more in commercials and advertisements here than the current New York Giants quarterback, which is fairly odd. I see Eli Manning in Corona commercials, Dunkin' Donuts commercials, on billboards. You can't pick Daniel Jones out of a 48 hours lineup if your life depended on it, half of us. I mean, we could because we're diehards, but a lot of people couldn't. And to answer your question, I don't think that would matter because he's still replacing a GOAT. It's kind of like Mac Jones too. He's coming after a GOAT. And whether Eli was here at the time,
Mac Jones didn't have the GOAT on the roster,
but he's still chasing his GOAT.
You are chasing a ghost, but like Casper, I'm not talking about the friendly pass rusher. Eli was still there. He was still on the roster.
Last thing, and I'll let you go, OGR. Remember, the thing that also did it was he was endorsed by Eli and Peyton. So even if he wasn't here, his verbal endorsement from Eli and Big Brother, because Coach Cutcliffe can turn a rock into a quarterback, they got ringing endorsements that for some reason Mara just clung on to, and it's part of the reason probably why we drafted him. In my opinion, OGR, what do you think?
I agree 100% what you said. I mean, all your points are valid, and I mean, there's no disagreeing there. I mean, I don't think it would have been different had he not been on the roster. I mean, Dave Brown had to follow up Phil Simms pretty much. So,
well, Phil Simms was still on but there was a little bit different time because of the fact that, and we talked about it before, in the 80s and 90s, sometimes you would draft a guy first overall and he wouldn't start for like 5 years.
Yeah.
So he had to go through the Phil Simms years.
Once they stepped in, they were expected to perform right away, though.
Zach Attack with the super chat says, I remember 3 years ago, OGR would call out Jason for running curls, stick and flats in the Tampa game, who also runs those concepts. Well, yeah, just right now. I mean, that's it's funny though. I mean, Zach Attack is right. We've talked about this before, and I do. What's up, Matthew? I saw you were in the chat. What's up, Big Matthew? We also have JM. Doesn't take much to make Dan Jones look bad. We got JM said Danny DeVito. I'm always gonna call him Danny DeVito. Looks better than Jones. He's just slow in getting the ball out of his pocket. I think he will improve with reps with the starting squad. I don't think he's gonna improve with reps because he went from Syracuse to Illinois. I mean, it's not like he was in an Ohio State and then decided, I'm going to go to Alabama. I mean, the big name quarterback I can think that went to Illinois at one point in time in his career before he bounced around was Jeff George. So
you're going back about Jeff George.
I'm going back a little bit. OGR, why is there no chatter about firing Kafka? You talk to Rob R0B. He wants to get rid of Bobby Johnson for every fault on the line. This team averages like what, 9 points a game? I know it's not 9 points a game.
It's 11.1 to be exact.
It's got less than that because we only had 6 last week. It's probably 10 something now.
I just seen a chart today. It said 11.1. That's the reason.
Yeah, it's actually Zach sent me that chart too. That's kind of why I was bringing this up. But why? Why is there no chatter? Why is there no, let's get out the pitchforks, and run them out on a rail.
I think part of it is, I think people like Dable, so they trust his decisions, so they trust in Kafka. The other thing is, at the time, people despised Joe Judge. So if you despise Joe Judge, you're going to despise who's underneath him. even though a lot of it started with Jason Garrett. And plus, nobody really liked the Jason Garrett hire to begin with, where more people like the Mike Kafka hire, even though he has way less experience. And maybe Kafka's more guy.
I actually like the Jason Garrett hire.
And Mike, to my knowledge, he's in the booth when he calls plays, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he is.
So, I mean, he's not on the sidelines. You don't see him as much. People don't really think about it. I mean, those are just some of the things I can think of. I mean, James can probably speak to it as well.
Don't forget to hit the like button while you're going in there. Tommy DeVito, the cowboy killer, the giant killer. Don't laugh, James. Don't laugh.
Tommy DeVito, it's like Cheddar Bob from 8 Mile.
So that make me rabbit. You want me to get into lose yourself? So I mean, he's got the inevitable task of going into Dallas. Dallas has got a top 5 defense, even with the loss of Diggs, allegedly. They coming off a bad loss to Washington.
Philly.
Some of the things you see with DeVito in the pocket is OGR. He doesn't look tentative in the pocket. I will give him that. He seems to have some awareness in the pocket, and it's kind of refreshing. But he does seem to have a little bit. If you watch his windup, he does seem to have a little bit of a little bit more of a elongated windup. And I have a feeling that when you have that, and you are still trying to make quick decisions, but you can't because you're still learning the process, it may be a bad situation to have going into a game like Dallas. Now, we talked about it earlier in the show that Daniel Jones only threw for 101 yards, 2 interceptions, and they scored 40 points that week 1. What can Tommy DeVito do, if anything, to help keep the Giants in this game?
Wow.
Yeah, look. I'm going to defer this one to James.
No, defer James first.
Take it.
Because it's a recipe for disaster. Like, you're asking me to, like, oh, here, where can be the positivity on there? Find some shred of positivity when I don't see any.
Okay, well, there's got to be some positivity. There's got to be a little bit of positivity.
You know what? I will say this. Even though he had the interceptions and whatnot, he still went downfield against the Raiders. I think you can still do that again. Even with the elongated windup, I think you still. I mean, it's a recipe for disaster.
Sorry.
Oh my god!
It just came up wrong. I don't know what happened. I can't get it to go.
What are you doing?
I don't know. Well, you hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. We don't have a producer for this train wreck.
Clear. No, I mean, they're going to do the same thing that they.
Look at that guy. He looks scared in that picture. Look at his eyes. He's like, please, God, don't intercept this. Please. Look at his eyes. He's like, please, God, let this go to the guy in blue.
You can actually see his wind up a little bit here.
Oh, man.
You can literally see he's got, and like I said, I've noticed it the other day. He's got a little bit of a he's got a little bit of a pitcher's wind up. And I don't, like I said, I never watched him in college, so I don't know if that's
nobody watched him in college.
I watch because I'm a Penn State fan. So, and
you've seen him?
You've seen him play?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn! Shut up, James.
I've seen him play because I'm a Penn State fan. So he started.
How did he play? This is a scouting report. How did he play? Did he play good? Did he play bad? Did he play poorly?
He played terrible. Penn State won, so that's what I was happy.
Oh God, great! I thought he was gonna. He's like, oh, he had a great game. He was magical in college.
No,
he was magical in college.
Damn it!
But no, I mean, they're gonna do what they always do: roll out, try and roll away from the pressure.
Roll out.
Give him some simple completions. Probably read half the field, and take the deep shots if they're there. Because at least he was willing to do it last week. But again, they were behind they're behind the stick, so then they did. But I mean, he did look good in that one last drive. But again, the Raiders probably weren't all that interested in
I don't think the Raiders at that point in time really care.
No.
They were just happy to be like, yeah, we're getting out of here. Oh, we got to win. We're not used to this. Matthew says, doesn't take much to make Jones look bad. Jones and the tunnel vision. You know what's funny, though? I don't know where. Well, tell him where it is. I don't know where it is. Why is this kid asking me? I heard it was his. Tommy DeVito did not have, I feel, he didn't have a tunnel vision issue. He actually looked, James, and he looked like he was going through his progressions. Now, the problem is this. If you can't get the ball out quick enough, you're going to take the hit. Going through your progression doesn't mean diddly squat. If with Dallas's pass rush, stop laughing.
Yo, I'm sorry, but you guys are sitting here trying to spit shine a pile of dog crap and trying to find like the positive lining in us going into Dallas where we haven't won in 5 years, and now we're going in there with a third string quarterback.
Tommy, get your shine box.
Who just 2 games ago he wasn't even allowed to throw, and now he has to go into Dallas, where they just lost a heartbreaker against another division rival.
Ooh, good stat right here from the Zach Attack. Dallas is 12-25 against third string quarterbacks.
Okay, well I guess that's
now.
There you go. That's
here's the question, though. Would he technically be our third string quarterback now that he's the first string quarterback?
Well, yeah, because he started the year as third stringer. So, I mean, he moved up the depth chart, but he did start the year as third string, technically.
Moved up. I didn't wonk you that time.
No, he wonked himself, I think.
So, James, this is what you would look like as a white man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why you got me?
You look just like Tommy DeVito.
You got. Oh, you know what? He needs a little soul in him. Maybe he'll.
Hold on, wait.
Oh boy,
there we go.
Yeah. Block out the white man. Yeah.
I wait for OGR to go. Well, in all fairness.
Oh my God. Yo, you guys want to hear something scary?
Sure.
Everybody in the chat and my 2 brothers here, OGR and Tim. I'm gonna read off. Just listen to this. This is for all the people who think a quarterback is not that important. Listen to the matchups on Sunday. You tell me how intriguing these matchups sound. Bryce Young tonight versus Bajant because Justin Fields is hurt.
Still hurt.
You got Gardner Minshew going against Mac Jones. You got Derek Carr going against the black astronaut farmer, Josh Dobbs.
Who actually won
in
his Minnesota debut.
You got
become a quarterback of an astronaut.
Jordan Love versus Kenny Pickett. Will Levis versus Baker Mayfield, the number 1 former draft pick, now journeyman quarterback. Sam Howell versus Geno Smith. Zach Wilson versus Aiden O'Connell, aka fake Derek Carr.
Kicked our ass.
Taylor Heineke versus Kyler Murray, first game all season. And Tommy DeVito versus Dak Prescott. Those are just some of the matchups, quarterback matchups this Sunday. This is the NFL.
Intriguing.
This is the NFL.
That does not make me want to watch. Listen, it could be worse. I could be watching Tommy DeVito and Dak Prescott. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to be watching that.
Now, you also have CJ Stroud versus Joe Burrow, which is probably the most intriguing matchup. Which is a rookie and CJ Stroud, Buckeyes. Take that, Rob T. Brown. Going against Joe Iceman Burrow. That's actually an intriguing matchup. You got Deshaun can't get my massages no more Watson. That's why I'm hurt all the time. Going against Action Jackson, And you have Jared Goff versus Sunshine Justin Herbert. Those are probably the best matchups. But all those others, like for anybody out there, because we've heard this thing too, where even if the Giants get a quarterback in here, it's not going to change anything. Really? Really? Did you hear those names I just mentioned? It sounds like the battle of the backups. This is
Well,
the NFL.
well, technically, it is the battle of the backups.
No, it is, but it's across the board. I mean, even Josh Dobbs, he's a backup.
It's crazy how many quarterbacks have actually been injured this year.
Actually,
It's
Josh,
insane.
I mean, you got Dobbs has actually won has won a game for 2 different teams this year.
That's actually quite amazing.
I mean, think about that from a guy, and he started an important game last year for Tennessee. So I mean, he's you know, he's got some street cred.
And
So basically, what?
Zach, look up this. How many teams Josh Dobbs has played for in the last 2 years? I think it's
Hey, you don't run Zach.
Hey, you don't give my guy stuff to do.
Hey, Zach, do me a favor. Look up how many teams Josh Dobbs has played for the last couple of years. Could you do that for me?
But basically, what you guys are saying is that a astronaut farmer has won 2 games for two games for 2 different teams. Meanwhile, our $160 million man has only won 1 game for us all year. Gotcha.
So, James, let me get. Oh, don't forget that other quarterback beat Mr. Dobbs.
All right, wait, guys. I actually have some news right now. And this is actually on the level. This is actually pretty scary. We've talked about Carl Banks all the time coming on the show, and he finally has admitted to come on. Finally admitted to come on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, former New York Giant, great.
Oh, man.
Carl, how you doing?
OGR, do your best Carl voice.
OGR, you're supposed to be doing the Carl Banks impression. Carl, how you doing?
It's too funny.
Well, guys,
we should win by 50.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Tommy DeVito. Okay.
OGR, if you're gonna be in the bits, you gotta what you call it? You gotta go along with the bits, man.
I'm sorry, it was hilarious. What do you want? I'm terrible at this.
That was
James
funny.
got it right. You gotta go with the bit.
That was funny. Well, guys, Carl Banks talks like a poor man's Billy D. Williams.
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute here.
All right, there we go.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh shit! There we go. Wait, I got. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Banks.
Well, guys, thanks for having me on. You know, those other 2 guys on WFAN wouldn't have me on, so I had to leave those chumps.
Look at that. He bored me already.
Oh, by the way, poor man Rocky Balboa right there.
All right, Mr. OGR, we're gonna let you drop off for a few minutes. I'm gonna have a few minutes with James before I leave here at 8:00. Appreciate you coming. I thought Greg from Sweden was gonna come on in, but I guess he's too busy sleeping.
Bring some wine and cheese.
Drink some wine and cheese, but it's the venerable OGR Sports, who's always welcome on this train wreck known as the train wreck. But OGR,
we're the stupid fans.
We are the stupid fans. But OGR, thanks for dropping on. Appreciate it, my brother.
Thank you for bringing me on, man. Peace.
You're welcome.
Peace, brother.
James. What do we got here? Xavier McKinney is so mid, won't to be missed. You think they're going to get? I don't think Xavier McKinney's going to be back.
Yeah, well,
I don't think.
Remember, the guy
doubt
he
that.
already spoken out enough times, so he hurt Wink's feelings. So now he's gone. That's it. Once he did that, it was we don't accept players who speak out. This is not that kind of organization.
You're not allowed to hurt my feelings.
We don't.
People don't forget to hit the like damn button. Don't forget the damn like.
Hit that like button.
You know, I'm tired of telling people to hit the like button. I'm looking at Twitter right now.
Why are you stop? Why? Oh, you mean X? Stop going into space.
I'm looking at X.
Going into space.
I'm looking at Terminator X. Oh my goodness gracious me.
Nah, but McKinney, man, he's gone. Like honestly, there's gonna be a few guys gone here, man. Like my man Slayton's gonna be gone. McKinney's gonna be gone. I don't like Saquon is the one mystery one. We'll find out how they're gonna handle that. If they're gonna just give him a contract or they're gonna try to franchise him again. Hey, what did you think about in that Raider game? Because Saquon has a couple incentives in his contract, so to speak, where he's, can get a couple bonuses if he hits a couple marks. I thought it was a little interesting that the guy had 89 yards at the start of the fourth quarter, and we basically didn't run the ball at all the rest of the game. You think there was?
I don't think there was any incentive in that. I don't think it's the old baseball thing where
Oh, okay.
where you get 600 at bats, I got to pay you $10 million. I don't think it was anything like that. I just think the fact that they were behind in the game. They were moving the ball, but then
he was having a great game.
The Raiders went on that big drive in the third quarter, which ate up like 9 minutes. It was like a 16-play drive. They only got a field goal out of it, but you took a lot of time off the clock. So I don't think there was any delusion that they were going to be able to run the ball effectively. I mean, I'm honestly, if I'm the Giants and I'm playing Dallas this week, I'm running Saquon 497 times.
You're probably gonna have to.
I mean, I'm literally running it till the wheels fall off.
I mean,
I hope I'm getting injured. I just mean I would just consistently run as much as I possibly can.
I hope we learned something from week 1, where at least they have a better game plan to deal with that front. See Zach. There you go.
Zach. Look at that. You asserting yourself as producer of the Online Big Blue Show. Now, Mrs. OBB is the associate producer, so I mean, you're asserting yourself. Zach wants to. Can you finally ask James? Well, that was kind of rude. No, I'm not going to ask.
Zach, I told you.
I'm going to Stanley's question now. Giants will have a chance. Can you finally ask James about the Leonard Williams veto power? Every time I see that name, I want to push the button. I got to get rid of the button. The rumor has, the speculation has by a beat writer that the Giants gave Leonard Williams the I think it's bullshit. I'm going to tell you why after you answer. They gave Leonard Williams the opportunity to veto the trade to Seattle. Do you
really?
That's what a beat writer is saying. That they gave him the option to stay with the Giants and veto the trade to Seattle.
I think that's I think because McKinney came out and said what he said about, it seems like they're not listening to the captains, or I thought we're trying to win here. Why would we trade? I think because of that backlash, they're trying to cover themselves a little bit by saying, well, he did have an option to stay, guys. He just doesn't like you guys either. Ha ha ha. That sounds weird to me. Why would we give him that option or even that power? I didn't see that article, but
it came out that that they gave him the option to veto the trade. Now, I find it to be, I forget what beat writer it was. Zach, what was the beat writer? I found it was it was Paul Schwartz who wrote it. I thought it was bull crap because the Giants only had $900,000 in cap space before that move. Somebody was getting traded. So I don't think that there was any opportunity that they said to Leonard Williams, hey, Leonard, if you don't want to go, I don't need to bring in a quarterback. I don't need to field 53 men on the roster. We did that 2 years ago. We didn't have 53 guys. We had 50. I don't need to do that. You stay. Because I love you, boo. You stay.
That would be it. I don't believe that one either. I think they're just trying to save face and make it seem like, well, we did, Will got, to the guys in the locker room, like, hey, if he really wanted to stay, he would have stayed, instead of, no, we had to get him out of here, I don't think they would give him that power.
Hey, Carl Banks, what do you think? I think it's bullshit. See, there we go. Carl Banks didn't agree with it.
Carl knows his stuff.
He's calling bullshit. Let's see. I just saw Dave says, Carl Banks, I thought it was going to be Carlton Banks from the Fresh Prince. I was looking forward to see the Carlton dance. Now you got my hopes up. Well, for $100 super chat, I'll do the Carlton dance. It have to be more than that because I have to get sued by Tom Jones for playing the song. Let me see here. The Giants will have a chance?
Telling me there's a chance. Yeah.
The Giants have a chance against Dallas because I think the Giants will come into the super motivated because there's a Super Bowl and Dallas ain't going to show up because they've already beat the Giants. Here's my thing about this.
Nah, that's not because of that.
the Giants beat the Cowboys. I'm thinking 2 ways.
Oh, McCarthy's getting fired.
2 ways. Oh God, McCarthy's fired the next. McCarthy's not even going to make it to. If the Giants beat the Cowboys, McCarthy's not even making it to the locker room.
I'm telling you, he's fired at the end of the year. That's how bad that would be, y'all. If we, after losing to the Eagles, losing the last couple playoff games, we beat them with a third-string quarterback after not beating them in 4 years. Oh, Mike is out of there.
Mrs. Online Big Blue is upset that she's the associate producer. So, sweetie, you are the executive producer.
Oh, she heard that? Oh, see, you know what? You Chunklet is about to come flying down them stairs.
She watches. No, she's upstairs resting. She had a long
Wait a
day.
minute, what did you say I was?
She had a long day and she's taking another class. So she's the smart one in the house.
She had a long day, but still had time to hear that and send you a dinger. Said, "Hey, buddy, hey."
I'm more. She's the executive producer.
I was like,
senior global executive president CEO producer.
Nobody above.
Nobody above.
Nobody above.
Nobody. She still wants to know when you're coming to the house.
Oh, I got.
Oh, the 50 people that are left. I'm going to talk to James for a few minutes. So you just be amongst yourself. So yeah, she's still yelling at me about that. No, I'm just joking. It was Paul Schwartz. How's it going, James? Whoops, here he goes. How we go? It's going good.
What up?
What's going on, my friend? How's everything going with you? Everything's going good. Zach says, attention, everyone. James will be making a video on how to play quarterback for the New York Giants. It's Christmas. It's Eagles versus the Giants.
Oh, God.
Are we playing on Christmas Day?
Really? That's a horrible present. Really?
I don't want that present. Mr. Alvarez said they should have gotten rid of Adoree. They should have gotten rid of Adoree Wallet to free up some money now that with the lump of the Cool Jones's contract.
Yeah, I thought Adoree was going to be going too. But I think with the injury, his little bump that he's had the last couple of weeks, it just that play he did against the Jets is so just, my God. Like, I wanted him gone. Just like, I think it was almost like he was trying to get himself traded. Like, let me just not give you the pass interference there.
I did it. Carl, what do you think? I think they all should have been traded. All right. See, Carl Banks agrees with me. I still love the and you and I talked about this. I still love the thought process that because of everything went on. Did you finally do your research on the Carl Banks situation and everything that was going on?
I looked into it a little bit, but honestly, it got once I saw he actually left his spot on WFAN, and now then he's going around
doing the media tour.
The media tour. Yeah, he's doing a media tour. Like, so you left your spot. It's almost like a bitter ex. And they didn't want me on that show, but now I'm gonna go around to all these other shows and give my expertise. Who wants to listen to old Carl?
But Twitter went crazy about it. I know it's old news, but Twitter went crazy about it. And it was the audacity for these two people who did not play the game, who were not Pro Bowl NFL linebackers and two-time Super Bowl champions, how they had the audacity to question Carl on anything that he had to say because he is the subject matter expert. And I love it because people wrote this. They had the subject matter expert and nobody was listening to them. And I thought it was funny that some of this was coming from content creators who never played the game, never coached the game, never worked in the game. And we're supposed to listen to them as subject matter experts, even though the criteria they have for Carl Banks is just totally out the window now because we're talking about them. And I just thought it was really weird that they're saying this, like, well, you have zero experience, but you make yourself off to be this all-knowing being about the New York Football Giants and football, but you don't even meet the criteria that you're giving the credence to Carl Banks.
Yeah.
Explain that one to me, because I'm still a little
well,
I'm still befuddled by that.
the only way I can actually explain it is, I think there was that poll you said where Giants fans were listed as maybe the dumbest fans in the league right now.
I believe it was the ESPN poll.
And I
being the dumbest fans in the.
I have to say I think we are. Like, Jets fans are the most gullible. They're gullible. But us, we know better, or we should know better, and we're just not exercising common sense or logic at all. I mean, at all. I mean, the whole all we've done in the Giant fandom the last 5 years is fight amongst each other. We've had a civil war, North and the South, blues and grays. That's all we've been doing. Literally, we can't agree on anything. The only thing I think we all can agree on is the offensive line has been bad for like 8 years now. 9 years. So however long it's been too long. That's probably the only thing we all can agree on. Everything else is a damn fight.
Yeah, we actually can agree on one more thing.
What? Oh, that would be really funny if you had like him in like a suit in State Farm.
I didn't do it. Stan from Twitter sent this to me right now.
I mean, you know what? That's funny, but again, guys, the guy, when all is said and done,
Carl, was that funny? Yeah, it was funny.
That guy is paid. That guy is paid. Like, I'm not saying anything about it.
He can buy a bunch of Burger Kings.
He is paid. You know what I'm really curious about? I would love to know what he's going to invest in. Because he ain't going to be playing football. He ain't going to be playing football for somebody. He may go try out for a couple of teams, may try, but he ain't going to be playing football in 2 years. You crazy?
You want to know why? It's crazy how an IKEA quarterback is getting so much tribute videos, and I don't remember any of the ones from that 1-2 Super Bowls.
No, you know what's really crazy? I got this is how crazy Giants fans are. Think about what I'm about to say. Giants fans right now are showing more love to Daniel Jones, who only won one playoff game in 5 years, than Jerry Reese, who actually was at the helm when we won another Super Bowl. Think about that. Daniel Jones is getting more love.
Give you credit for not giving Jerry Reese the credit for the first Super Bowl, because that was an Ernie Accorsi team.
Of course.
I'm giving you credit for that was actually very good.
But Daniel Jones is getting more of a farewell tour and more of a, we're going to miss you for winning one playoff game than our former GM, who picked a bunch of stars, JPP, OBJ, guys with talent, amongst others, and won a Super Bowl. That's how crazy we are. People will trash Jerry Reese. Oh, he was garbage. He was trash. But Daniel Jones gets oh man, we ruined him? Huh? How does that make sense?
Gets tribute videos. I love the tribute videos that someone put together of him and all of his fumbles and interceptions and sacks. And that was clever.
I mean, the guy, you know, was really eerie too when they were interviewing him, asked him about his injury in front of the locker room. I couldn't help but I got a quick flash of Eli Manning when he was crying in front of his locker, and I was like, oh man, this is it. I was like, even if he's gonna come back and play a couple of games, but I know this is it. It's over. Like the end of Eli, that was it. When we benched him for Geno, that was it. Like, we all knew it was over, but that was the final. Like, oh, we know this is over. If they're benching him for Geno, and watching Daniel try to explain when he's gonna have surgery and all this crap, it's over. Like I think that today, like, that was the moment where I could finally be like, oh no, this is really done. Like, this is done. He tore his ACL. He's gonna have to have surgery. Yes, he will still be on the roster because of his contract, but Daniel Jones, as the future, that ship has sailed and sunk.
Rodney is saying no hope in Dallas for the New York Giants. I'll be watching the Knicks game. The Knicks with the big win yesterday against Victor Wembanyama. Did not have a good game. Knicks looked good, roughed them up a little bit too. Julius Randle is now kind of sprung to action come to life the last two games. and you got RJ Barrett back the other night. So I mean, it was a good win for the Knicks, and hopefully they can continue. I still think we have some issues and some deficiencies in reference to the power forward situation and a few other things with our wing defense. But you know what? Like I said, it's still early, so hell, I may be watching that. I didn't know the Knicks were on at that same time. I'll be watching that game too.
We're gonna be a good team like we were last year. You know, we're gonna be scrappy. We are one of the better defensive teams in the league again. So you know, it's early. I was more impressed with the Clippers win because I was worried that Harden was going to come in here and drop like 35.
It's also the game that Randall finally kind of broke out of a slump, and then they're saying, and like I said, I don't know if it's true. They're saying that Julius was hurt the first part of the season, and he's healthy now for the first time, and they actually thought it would be a good idea for him to sit out some games early in the season, but he decided to play. I don't know if that's true, but that's what they're saying in the media right now.
Well, again, just to correlate that to the Giants, first of all, I would believe that because he was playing so bad, his shots was off, and he just did not look like himself, you know. But again with the Graham Gano situation, this guy was automatic.
Do you know who he looked like?
Who? But the guy Gano was automatic last year from the first game this year against Dallas.
Yeah, ever since that block, and like I said, I was sitting there with the Big L, and even Big L I think mentioned at one point in time he was wondering if he got hurt on that play.
And you're not going to tell me that something is not wrong with that guy, and then flash forward 8 games, oh, he's having surgery. Really? The guy was off every game. Every game was an adventure with the kicks this year, when it was never like that. So I firmly believe Julius had some kind of Nick was bothering him or something.
Ms. Robert says, on a random note, I'm rooting for James Williams in the draft. Funny enough, there's a safety from Miami who has the same name.
I know. Yeah. That's funny. I did see that. You know, listen, selfishly, I want Caleb Williams so I can finally have Williams jersey from an official quarterback. That would just make my day.
You know what? There's always someone that fucks it up, and everyone's gonna get out of the pool. Rodney, the Knick game will be almost over by the time the Giant game starts. J-Ham, man, come on. you got to screw it up for everybody. I was excited. I thought the Knicks were playing. I was like, oh shit, I can watch the Knick game. RJ did look good. I think this is the year for RJ Barrett. I think he showed some progressions last year. I think he showed some consistency. I think he's going to be more of an offensive force. If you take a look at the first couple games he played before he sat out the one, he was attacking the rim more, and he was using his left and right hand. So he wasn't just attacking the rim with one hand like he did the last couple of years. He was actually using both hands, which I was very. He had a nice play. I can't remember who it was against. He actually attacked the rim, went in, and went up with his left hand on the right side of the basket. And I was like, wow, okay, I would not have seen that last year from RJ Barrett. So he is. I think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna ever be the superstar that some people thought he was gonna be because of where he was drafted. But I think he's a guy that can be a pro. I mean, an all-pro, or I should say, or an all-star.
Playing for Canada helped him because he was playing basketball pretty much all year round, and I think that helped his game to hopefully take another step.
What the Giants somehow win the game to take themselves out of the top 10? No, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, listen, if we're playing Devito, then we'll have a good shot at just letting nature take its course. I'll say that.
Let's see. Cam Thomas with the Nets looks good this season. He's going to be out 2 weeks with an ankle injury. There's only one team in New York.
Yeah, and I like Cam Thomas, but we don't talk about the JV team down there.
There's only one team that's got an NY on their chest that plays basketball. Okay, you play basketball in Brooklyn, that's a baseball town. You need to go the way of the Dodgers and go to LA. Well, they have the Clippers and the Lakers, so don't go to LA. Don't go to Oakland either because they also have Golden State. And you can't.
I gotta chase this raccoon out my garage real quick. Hold on.
Oh, really? You got a raccoon?
Hey!
What is he really has a raccoon? Right now, those that do not know, James is chasing a raccoon out of the garage. I like his chair. Let's see what else we can find here. I don't know if that's a weight set. It could have been a Bowflex off to the left, and I like the chairs. It looks like he needs some structural work by that light. We have the show on hold right now as James chases a raccoon. Oh, by the way, while James is gone, I'm going to bring in my special guest. Oh, Carl Banks came back. Tim, you're always right. All right, Carl, I appreciate that. Did the raccoon live? We have to wait till James get his headphone on. Did the raccoon survive?
Hold on. Sorry about that. I'm having some work done in here, and this is there's an opening right now, I'll say, and no. Sorry about that.
The raccoon didn't make it.
We're not gonna talk about that. What happened?
Now the question is, I thought you were smoking earlier, so was there actually a raccoon?
Of course.
Okay, I just want to double check just to make sure. I can just make sure we're all good here. Chris Kevin says, "Hey Tim, what did I miss?" Well, you missed Carl Banks, OGR Sports, James chasing a raccoon, some Giant talk,
some Knicks talk.
The Knicks talk. The Nets are a New Jersey team. AP's got it right. The Knicks are a New Jersey team. As a kid, I had so many actually good memories watching the Nets play in Jersey. Buck Williams, Daryl Dawkins, Otis Birdsong, Albert King,
Kenny Anderson.
Kenny Anderson was way before. Way after
listen,
that, I mean, I'm talking 80s and 90s. I had a good time watching him as a kid. And it was funny because back in the day, I've told the story before, I would never do this to any of my kids because I just doesn't seem like good parenting. Back in the 80s and 90s, my parents would leave me. They would give me $20, drop me off in front of MetLife, or I should say the Meadowlands at that point in time, and say, well, pick you up at 6. Didn't have a cell phone, didn't have any communication device. And they used to do that for the net games as well. And back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, there was no one in the net games. So you could just run around the whole stadium. You just run around the whole arena. But I would never do that with my kid now.
Well, as crazy as times were back then, there's just a couple of different elements in play now that we didn't have to worry about back then. Also, I think kids, because we were outside more, I think we were better trained to be outside and deal with certain situations. Like I really worry about some kids today. Like if you were to try to do that with them and just leave them and say, "Here, I'll be back for you in 2 hours," they would literally be there and be like, "Oh my God, where's my phone? I need my GPS. I don't know where I am." It's like it's such a weird thing today with kids. Like they're lost without the electronic device.
I remember getting dropped off in front of the Meadowlands, given a ticket, given some money, and then my friends. If anyone that knows the Meadowlands, they used to have these. I don't know, the spirals. I don't know what the hell you would call it. It's like they had escalators, but you could actually walk up these. You could see it in the old pictures. There's like these spirals that go up. They go up They go up the concourse, and they were pretty steep. And it was a better way if you had to get up to the upper level than going up the escalators and going up the stairs. You would just kind of walk up the spiral, the concrete spiral. And people used to pee on them because they didn't want to go to the bathroom. And then you have to watch the urine as it kind of went down the spiral. But I remember as a kid going to the game, running all the way up to the top. And then because it was so steep, just running down all the way from the top level, all the way down to the lower level and trying not to fall. Because that's just what you would do as a kid. So you would sprint down the thing like this, trying not like you're getting flushed down the toilet. And you would try not, and you could see who would make it down first and who could make it down without falling. Could you imagine someone doing that now?
Well, now, you like you'd have two of your friends doing it, and then the other one would be trying to film you guys coming behind, and then he'd drop the phone and be like, "Ah!" So gotta get everything on film today. You can't just do it and enjoy the moment. Gotta get it on camera.
Because you're right. Because then it didn't happen. if
You
if
know?
you didn't get it on film. But I
You
remember
know,
that was crazy because, like I said, you could literally bust your neck. Running down these hold on one second. You know what? Because we're so professional here at on Big Blue Sports Entertainment, you can see it right there. You got these spiral. I don't know what the hell you would even call that, but it was a great way to get. You didn't have to take the escalator, so it was a great way just to get up from the lower level to the upper level. And like I said, and it was so steep that you would just run. You would just run down. And I remember the last I took when my wife and I first moved back to New Jersey. I took her to it was TQ Barber's farewell game, and we went. It was the first time she had gone to the Meadowlands, and I just remember the story because we're walking down the spiral, and she goes, "It smells like urine." And I was like, and then all of a sudden I pointed over to her at the side of the spiral because you used to watch it because people wouldn't go to the bathroom because it would be too much long. They would just pee on the wall and it would just go down the spiral. And I would tell her, listen, just, don't walk.
Don't get too close.
Because she goes, well, what is that? And I didn't have the heart to tell her that's urine. So don't go down the urine spiral.
She's probably like, this is what you do. You come to games, people are pissing on the walls.
It's a ramp. I don't remember being. I guess you could call it a ramp. Last one is James says we're more active at kids, probably because we didn't have the technology that exists today. James, the game has started. I got to run to Wawa to get a sub. It's the little things in life. Do you have a final thought for the 48 people that there's always like 48 people at the end that just hang in there? They just hang in there waiting for something good to happen. It never does.
Real ones.
I always appreciate those 48 people.
Real ones, real brothers out there and any sisters out there. Well, we're not gonna lose 40-0.
38.
I don't know what it's gonna be.
It's not gonna be 40-0.
It's not gonna be 40-0, and it's just gonna be one more step closer to Caleb. Closer to Caleb. That's it. Closer to Caleb. That's all I got.
Kevin, I'm going to say it right now. We're not going to. I've said it before the start of the show. We lost 40-0. Daniel Jones threw for 101 yards and 2 interceptions. Devito can't do any worse.
No.
So anything is an upgrade. We're going to do it. We're going to have the stream on Sunday. So let's not give our scores out just yet. We're going to do the Sunday stream as always. But I'm going to say, listen, there's only one place to go. All right, everyone. As always, this is Tim. This is James. This is Carl Banks. All saying welcome to and goodbye from New York Giants Straight Talk. Appreciate everyone hanging out. It's been a lot of fun tonight. James, you're a scholar and as a gentleman as always. And you know what, everyone? We are out of here.